What is up, YouTube? It is OP8.5 here, bringing you another video, and today we gotta talk about Doflamingo, the 8.5 menace. Here we come. Let's jump straight into gameplay, and we will give you our thoughts as we go. Here we go. Let's kick on some music, and let's watch a replay. Here we go. Oh, let's get rid of Doflamingo. He's in the way. Okay. Alright, here we go. We are against Purple Luffy. Okay, look, this went really fast. Dude, Doflamingo, easy to play, so I'm going to be speeding through this. Turn 1 Perona, we set the top of our deck. Just know, when you're setting the top of your deck, it's kind of like, just think about it as draw, play, up to the number of cards you have. And try and remember that last card, and then, you know. There you go. Anyways, we play our Boa off of... we're on the odd curve, so 3 drop. 2 Dawn to our leader. Swing ability of the leader to drop Boa Hancock off the top. Reordering our life once again. Okay, and then Luffy drops 4 drop Zoro the Searcher. New card from the starter decks. And then with Doflamingo, every game, we're just going to sit there and cheat out as many cards from the top of our deck onto the board as possible, because that's free cards. And when we can do it so consistently, you just got to do it. Yep, and then we swing face. We reorder our deck again, and look at this. We've got a Pudding, so we're going to be able to destroy his hand, which is what makes this deck so oppressive. Weevil, which is going to draw us another card, so we're going +2 off of Weevil into La Perona Mihawk. I don't think I stacked that very well. Oh, when you're playing Weevil, you got to remember you have an extra draw, so it goes draw, play, draw, play. That's what we end up doing. We got plenty of counter. What is he going to do? He drops a blocker. Swing 6. We're just going to counter out, preserve board. And then here we go. Swing, cheat out the Weevil. We knew it was there. Draw a card. We've got a million cards. And then, look, so we swung first because there was a world where we get Pudding value if he just takes it. He didn't take it, so we're not going to get Pudding value. Therefore, the Pudding's kind of dead in our hand. But we've got great follow-up. We have Jinbei. Like, Pudding is only worth it if you're going to get multiple cards out of their hand, right? Or if you know that their deck is stacked, or that they've just found a very important card to their strategy. So let's say like a Searcher. Okay, so anyways, this game, he's ramped all the way to 9. He Lins me, puts a card to the bottom of my life. I still have a full board though, and this is my 9 Dawn turn. So I'm just going to swing. He's going to give me his entire hand. Then I'm going to Doflamingo cheat out a guy. And look at that. Red Rock this Lin. He has no board. I still have a massive board. His hand is struggling. He drops Kaido, pops 1. He's going to swing. I'm going to counter out. And then he just gives up because it's the writing's on the wall. I'm going to have 4 swings next turn. He's going to have 1 blocker. He's got plenty of counter, but I'm just going to keep doing it. And I have a million cards in my hand. I mean, yeah, this deck is super strong. Let's take a peek at another replay here. Okay, we are into Uta, another deck that gets very strong after the starter decks. Which, by the way, hopefully you guys could get some. I have found 1 starter deck, Katakuri. A little disappointed. I don't particularly want that deck. There are good cards, but yeah. Anyways, turn 1, Perona. One of the best turn 1 plays. Look at the top 5, set your deck into Weevil. Probably the second best play off of Doflamingo is Weevil. First best being Jinbei, cheating out you an extra body. And then look at this. So we're on the 5 cost. We decide not to cheat something out. You don't actually need to do that every turn. That is just a figure of speech. So we drop Searcher, and we're setting up to play this Law and bounce the Nami back to hand. We're going to ruin his board, all of his tempo. He didn't get any value from the search off of Nami because he didn't have a Dawn to rest for that. And now we've got 3 bodies on the board, a million cards in hand. I just get a counter out of everything. He has way too many cards in his hand. I'm going to get pudding value, and I'm just going to keep countering out. He does make a mistake there, and he doesn't swing with the Brook, so I should have gotten an extra card in my hand. But also, just a note here, the I'm invincible, did not see that play coming. I am lucky that I had counter to do that, but I just putting him, he's down to 5 cards. I've got the board, he's going to give me counter. We go 5, 6, 7. And then cheat out a Gecko, picking up another 2k counter. My board's built. He's on 1 life. 8 Dawn. There's not a ton he's going to be able to do here to come back. Uta drawing him a card. So strong. Just like Doflamingo, except easier. And then he Luffy's into Uta, so he blockers up. But, I mean, there's a lot of good draws I could hit here. And I've got Perfume Femur. So, yeah, let's swing 7s. Gives me a counter, swing 7. Oh, just a note. He used his blocker and countered. That's really greedy when I have a full board of swings. I go 5. Granted, Uta plays a lot of bricks, so if you think about it, he's not going to have as much counter as he should. And yeah, we end up winning there. We're going to go 6-6, forcing him to have a bunch of 2Ks. But yeah, we get there. So right now we're showcasing why, you know, Doflamingo is so strong. It is the premier, like, fast deck of the format. We're going against all of these decks that want to play, you know, lots of bodies, play on curve, tempo out. Doflamingo does all of that just better with more cards. Oh, and then look at this. Turn 1 Perona is the dream. I mean, if you look at this, probably most of the games that we win, we have a turn 1 play. And if it's Perona, we're so set. And then we have double Jinbei, so we're going to drop bodies. And then Arlong, swing 7, drop Sanji blocker. Again, we're not that worried about taking damage into Arlong because we do what he does better. And look at this. We have a million cards. He has less life. Drops out a blocker. I don't even care. A 1k blocker isn't going to do a ton a lot of the time. Okay, he is, you know, considering his decisions, his options here. And he goes big 9 into face. And I'm like, man, I don't care about you going face. And then I read his 4-drop too, which KOs stuff equal to life or less. So going to 3 is great for us here. Yeah, and then also Boa, when you're at 6 Dawn, lets you Boa leader ability. So, and it also lets you stack your deck, which is fantastic. So we should have swung 6 first. We don't want him to know what our plays are. And then I force him to pick up that Inuyarashi. No, I don't. I make him pick up the blocker. The blocker being a little bit more value on the board. We don't have to worry about this ability, because if he wants to put two Dawn there, he doesn't even get to pop anything. So not a huge worry here. We're looking at Arlong swinging. He drops the guy that rests a blocker, so a little unfortunate. We end up having to counter out a lot there. But again, our hand is massive. Just look at our hand. We have an equal board, but I have 4 extra cards compared to him. Top deck Kaido. Kaido is definitely a win more card, so I'm kind of thinking about moving away from it. By win more, I mean that when you play Kaido, if they're at 3 or less life, you're already probably in a very good position, and if you can afford to spend your turn playing a 10 drop, like, did you need to play Kaido? Like, wouldn't another 4 drop serve the same purpose a lot of the time? Yes. I mean, a lot of the games I don't even play Kaido. The threat of Kaido is good, but I haven't needed him. Anyways, he swings 10. This is double attack. So I don't really want to let this hit. So I just think I give him all my counter. Yeah, because, like, if I don't, it does, like, put me at risk of losing to his swings on board. And then, like, he swings 7, I'll just give him that. He's got a 6k swing. Well, he's probably going to be 8, and then I'll counter out of that, right? Swings 5 into face, which seems like a mistake there. If you're going to commit to swinging board, just keep swinging board. I don't even think I needed to protect my board. Okay, actually, it seems like it might have been relevant. But yeah, we end up getting there. He has, what? No counter in hand. Ace Zoro, though, very scary. If that game went a little bit longer, we would have been in trouble. We did have Red Rock, though, I think, so maybe it wouldn't have been too bad. Okay, this matchup is hard. We're playing into Bonnie, and we whiff. We don't have a turn 1 deck setter, and we whiff our turn 4 swing. We're on the... Wait a minute. We miss our turn 2 swing with 3 Dawn, revealing the Sengoku off the top. But we get lucky and we hit Weevil later, so that's a really good. And then Pudding. Pudding's really good in this matchup. I'd say Pudding is, like, essential in any of your hard matchups. Pudding in a good curve. So he swings. I'm going to counter out. I need to protect board against Bonnie. You need to get her down to 0 as fast as possible. And so I just Pudding there. They were at 7 cards, so, you know, get to rip 2 cards out of their hand, right? Yep, ripped 2 cards, and then I'm just going to try and control board here. Now that I've destroyed their hand. Gonna go 7 and 7, so you'd have to give me 2 2Ks, which is mostly what Bonnie runs anyways, so it's not that far-fetched to see something like that happen. Our opponent is taking their time. Good old Weevil. Okay. Our opponent counters out with a 2K. I'm happy to see that. And then he gives us a 1K blocking with the Hawkins. And I've got somewhat the semblance of a board. And I'm going to protect it. He drops Kid. I don't care. I have Red Rock. If anything, I'm very happy that he used his turn to do that. And now look at this. He just gives up, which is crazy because this matchup is so good for Bonnie. I mean, like, there I was going to be able to swing 7-7 and then 5 at face. Leader ability, cheating something out. He was nowhere near losing. I just wanted to show this because Red Rock is a huge asset against Bonnie. Okay, let's look at another game. This one's a little bit longer, so buckle up. I forgot to mention we've got 11 games we're going to show you. Maybe 10. Actually, now I can't remember if I cut one of them. We've got 11 games. So, yeah. Anyways, turn 1, Perona. Set our life. Remember, draw, play, draw, play, draw, play. Think about it like that. It's simpler. He drops a Sengoku. Marco ability is so strong. It really helps you manage board. Giving minus 2k into an aggressive deck, I mean, it just makes your 5k swings like so guaranteed to hit. So, yeah, you really need to get max value out of your leader ability to really catch up in the cards that you lose. We do hit a Jinbei off the top, which is fantastic. We dropped the Mihawk. I wish you could go Jinbei into Jinbei, because then that would be crazy. That'd probably be broken. That's why they don't do that. But our opponent does take a while to make plays, so I'm going to skip forward a little bit. Okay, he leader abilities and plays a buggy. I think that's out of order. Just a side note, if you're going to set the cards of your deck, you probably want to know them. Unless you have a card you want to bottom deck. So like you bottom deck a card with Marco first and then you buggy to look at the 3. That lets you look at the most cards, technically. He is playing this interesting card, which I haven't seen a lot of people playing, which is the 4-drop blocker Boa Hancock. That card seems very strong. You get a block and draw, so it incentivizes you to counter up and use your cards early. And then you get to block out and draw cards, so it replaces itself. And if it lives, you start to go plus for blocking, which is crazy into a deck like Doflamingo. But yeah, we're just gonna, like, Doflamingo's game plan is straightforward. We're gonna keep trying to hit magic numbers, good breakpoints, swing, cheat cards out, defend board. In this matchup, defending board is a nightmare, though, so yeah. Granted, okay, I know I said this Marco player is taking a long time. They're playing a much harder deck than me, to be fair. Look at this, they're on 3-drop Dofi blocker as well, so I mean, they should find any cards that they're looking for. This makes me wonder if they're on the entire 7 Warlord package. Maybe some Jinbeis, Gecko Morias, Weevils. Okay, we top deck Red Rock, so I mean, if he drops, you know, Sanji, Relays, Dragon, what's the other one? Newgate, we're just bottom decking that for sure. But for now, we're just going to keep curving out, cheat bodies out. You know the plan. And then they're just going to keep trying to, you know, crack this board. They're at 2 life, so they're doing a great job of defending in 5 cards. I am still 5 life, though, so they've got a long way to go when it comes to dealing with me. But they're handling my board fairly well. 5 and a 5, I feel really good about that. Means he's most likely not going to be dropping extra stuff. He drops the Relays, which is pretty bad. He gets to remove a body and negate one of my swings, basically. But yeah, he's only got 4 cards now and 1 blocker, so I think swinging really puts pressure on his life, which we want to do. We dumped the Red Rock. I think, in my mind, we're definitely just trying to push for game here. And, like, he can't really crack this board if he has no cards in hand. He goes down to 0 life, which means he's in Perfume Femur land. So it doesn't matter if he blockers up. So now he needs to remove my board and kill me before I draw Perfume Femur. It's going to be a hard game for him. I don't see him lasting much longer. He goes 2 into 2. I counter out for some reason. A little bit troll there, but... And then he leader abilities, allocates a bunch of Dawn. He is on the Jinbei package. That's pretty cool. I like that. Man, is that Boa Hancock worth it in our deck? Probably not. We usually have a ton of cards. Anyways, we're just going to go 7/7 a lot. Okay, also, that's just a blatant misplay. That 5 Dawn should go onto Doflamingo. Actually, all the Dawn goes on Doflamingo, except 1, because we're going to leader ability because we're greedy. Anyways, yes, there we go. Marco down. Who else does Doflamingo beat today? Yamato? Does Yamato stand a chance? Of course not. It's another aggro deck. This is the premier aggro deck of this format. I'm sure of it. We buggy, set our cards. You know what's crazy though is I swear there are so many times that I look at the top 3 and I'm like, wow, this is perfect. Wish I wouldn't have wasted my time playing this buggy. He Yamato swings. I don't care. Honestly, I'll go all the way to 1. I just want to develop a board. I've got Jinbei to do that now too. So, and then Sengoku, pick up another, probably 2k counter. Okay, I get greedy and I don't grab a 2k counter. Little bit of a misplay in my opinion. Or not the most ideal play. Okay, just waiting on our opponent. Goes ahead and plays a card that doesn't matter. Swings 8. Man, I could take this. It literally doesn't do anything. Drops Kikanojo. I mean, swinging 7s looks good to me. Was that 1 Dawn to Weevil? Okay, no. We're just gonna probably block her up then with Boa Hancock. 6/7. Ooh, beige. Beige is good. Yep. So we dropped the Hancock. I saw that coming. We're gonna pick up this Gravity Blade next turn. Swing 7/7. Goes to 0. He's got 3 attacks. He could have a rusher. He does. But I have way too much counter. It just doesn't matter. Here we go. Also, sorry. Wow, I just yawned. Hopefully you didn't see that. Been a long day. Okay, 5. We just counter out everything. This is pretty straightforward. And then he Yamato's onto this. And we can just take that. I counter out anyways, just to really put the nail in the coffin there. Okay. And here we go. Into Katakuri. See, there is just a lot of decks in this format that actually I think are viable, especially like there's a bunch of decks that are trying to beat Doflamingo. There's Doflamingo, and then there's decks that beat the decks that beat Doflamingo, in my opinion. And, well, this is one of those decks that beats the decks that beat Doflamingo. Katakuri, at least. Big Moms are very strong. Lin, crazy. Anyways, Buggy into Sengoku. Into probably Jinbei Law. Oh yeah, Jinbei Law. Bounce. I love this play. And look at that. We get a 2k counter back to our hand and another Searcher. And then next turn, we've got a nice looking Boa. Gadatsu. Oh, Gadatsu is such a strong 5-cost play. Swing 7. He's going to be swinging at 7s for days with Katakuri. What a strong card. And then look at this Look at these cards. This is just awkward. Luckily, we get Jinbei off the top, which is crazy. And we're going to draw into Perfume Femur. Jinbei Weevil. Ah, so good. Now we've got the Gravity Blade. Hopefully he develops another 5 or 6 cost body that we can Gravity Blade. Parasparrow. Oh yeah, we could Gravity Blade that. Let the Jinbei die. Man, I kind of wish we let both Jinbei die. Both Jinbeis die. And then I'm like, man, I don't remember what I put. Actually, no, I did remember, and I remembered that there was no targets. So let's put all of our bricks to the bottom. Or the whiffs. The ones that wouldn't work with Doflamingo. Let's try and get this Gadatsu off the board. Okay, in some matchups, board control matters. This is one of those matchups. Because they can pressure just as well as we can. And they've got big moms to, you know, really swing the game back into their favor from a life perspective. We are going to law to stack our deck, to pull back our searchers and the Perona. We get to stack our deck, and now we're going to start cheating out the Weevils that we saw, which is so strong. And if he wants to keep protecting this Gadatsu, I respect it, but also annoying. Ah, he has another Gadatsu. That's so bad for me. And then he swings 8 into Jinbei. I have 2k, 2k. Okay, I don't go for it. Oh, yeah, because I want to protect this Weevil. I like it. Okay. I mean, Gravity Blade's huge here. Ooh, Gravity Blade, and I can still Doflamingo. I can still leader ability. Ooh. Wait a minute. Yep, so I just Gravity Blade his 2 attackers. I've still got a board. Yep, and he just gives up. I don't think he needed to. He could have played Lin Lin. Right. I lose a life, he gains a life. And he's got 6k, 7k counter, so he wasn't going to go back to 0. I mean, I definitely... He wasn't in a good position, but I think he could have won. Okay, and I think we're going to get into the portion of this video where it's like, and here's why Doflamingo's bad. If a large percentage of the field is playing Doflamingo, then you are almost taking a gamble if you play a deck that beats blue Doflamingo. And we're into this green-purple Doflamingo, and they have access to a card that is absolutely bonkers and shuts down this deck completely. It is insane. Granted, it's probably only good against like Doflamingo, Zoro, and I mean that's it. Maybe Calgara on certain draws. But yeah, so you'll see what happens here. Man, there are so many games where I just wish I would have drawn my pudding. This is one of them. He was all the way up to 8 cards. Ah, that would have been so much value. And he bird cages. Okay, stop. Read this card. This is ridiculous. If your leader is Doflamingo, all characters with cost of 5 or less do not become active during the player's refresh phase. And it pops once you have 10 Dawn at the end of your turn. But he's playing purple, so he's just going to minus his Dawn. And anything that costs 5 or less is going to be permanently rested. Doflamingo Birdcage. And I'm thinking to myself, holy crap, that's all she wrote. And here's where I mess up. There is a way to play around this, right? First off, your leader swings are going to be so important. So here I need to, well, and leader ability is not important because it cheats out cards that are permanently rested. So now I need to develop multiple bodies. And pressure life. He plays sugar. Sugar is another disaster because now every time I play a 4 cost, he's going to rest it. And get this, my whole deck is 4 costs. Oh my gosh. This matchup is a nightmare. So, yep, I just swing. And I'm hopeful that this birdcage will pop. And then I realize that he's only on 9 Dawn. And things are not looking good. I borderline want to skip through all of this because this is just so sad. Birdcage is crazy. I bounce the sugar. That way I at least get to keep some of my guys active. And now we Doflamingo swing 7. And he's just going to block counter out. So, pretty unfortunate. We got him all the way down to 1, even though our characters have just been rested all game. He double sugars. Now my entire board is rested. What am I going to do? I'm going to hope birdcage pops. But guess what? Guess what? 5 down queen. Yep. At that point, I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done. I cannot play the game. And he's got a blocker. Oh my gosh. And the next turns he was going to drop 10 drop Doflamingo. There was no coming back from that. Okay, here we go. And now we're playing into Lucci. Another reason that Doflamingo struggles. Well, okay. A reason. A deck that is going to be hard to play against is Lucci. And look at this. We get Perona Weevil this game. And we simply... It's going to be a really hard game. He tries to put all his Dawn on Lucci and kill Weevil. We just don't let it happen. And we keep dropping Weevils here. I mean, all 3 Weevils in the top like 10 cards. 15 cards is crazy. Sorry, 3 Weevils. That's a lot. He's going to keep trying to control board. He's leaving up 5 Dawn. I'm hoping he just has a Sabo. But he drops Suru, Lucci. So he's going to go pop, pop. There goes my board. Luckily, I got another Weevil. So we're going to keep doing the 6-7 thing. Into Boa. Boa's huge. It ends up being 6-8. He's not going to counter out of that. And now I'm just praying I draw Pudding, because that would destroy the Lucci right now. He's definitely going to try and play as many cards as he can. But Spandam replaces itself, so he still has 9 cards in hand. If I draw Pudding here, we just win. There's no coming back from that. But so, you know, mulligan for Pudding, guys. Mulligan for Pudding. Just kidding, don't do that. But it's really good in a lot of matchups. And like yes, like everybody can choose to play around Pudding. But the reality is sometimes you can't. Sometimes you have a brick heavy hand. And he goes Rob Lucci, pops 2 of my cards. He's at 1 life. But this is an uphill battle. He continues to just permanently remove my board. I swing 10 because I need to get him to 0. I need to get him to 0 because then Perfume Femur wins me this game. He counters out all the way down to 3 cards. I'm thinking 9 does the job with 3 cards. This is probably greedy, but given the fact that he used a bunch of 1Ks to counter out, he probably doesn't have 2Ks. And we put him to 0. I'm thinking, okay, Perfume Femur, game. You can't kill me, I have 5 life. Lucci, Lucci, swing, swing. Don't care, don't care. Maybe I should have cared a little. Boa Hancock, very good card in this matchup specifically. Wow. Words are hard. Words are hard today. He geckos. He's going to pick up a Rebecca and a 2K or something. Helmeppo. Into Brook. Yep, there goes all my board. Granted, he probably shouldn't have gone for Brook off Rebecca. He should have grabbed a 2K. Because now we're going to Perfume Femur and swing for 15. And that is just going to be the game. So yes, Lucci is a problem, but it's a problem we can beat. Now this matchup I am not so sure about. Enel. What a nightmare. Holy cow, Enel is so strong. Into Doflamingo. He drops Shirahoshi. I'm going to Jinbei. Drop 2 bodies. Wish that was a Weevil. It's not, though. That's okay. Higadatsu's my Jinbei. That's pretty rough. We're just going to take, like, every swing, because I need a save counter to save my board. But we've got the Dream Jinbei into Boa Hancock on 6, which is going to let us still leader ability. I kind of want to pick up this Jinbei, because now we get to cheat out more stuff. And then he Rocket Luffy's popping the Boa Hancock, which, yes, it lets me swing again, but man, we're in trouble. We are in trouble. So I got to counter out here and hope he doesn't play too many cards, because I've got a huge pudding coming in on this NL. And you know what's crazy is it still might not matter. We could pudding this guy. Oh my gosh, Nami to remove the Moria. Oh man, Enel has so much removal now. Yep, so we putting him. It could have been better, but we got a couple cards out of his hand for that. Then we go Jinbei Moria, pick up another Jinbei, so we can Jinbei Moria again. And then obviously it's Enel, so we can't swing into his 1 life because that would be pointless. He's just going to get it back. So we're going to go 5. 9 times out of 10, he just takes this one. Okay. And he hits a Nami. Yeah, I mean, this Enel, all of the triggers are just so hard to deal with as Doflamingo because they all remove your board. And then I go ahead and Moria, pick up a 2K. I don't want to swing any more into his life. But now I'm under threat of dying. So he's got 3 attacks. I have 2 life. If he just commits all of his Dawn here, I could just lose. And you know what? I might lose to a... Oh my gosh. I lose to Rush Ace here. Oh no. Okay, so I needed to counter out of that Gadatsu swing. Yep. That was a mistake. 9 puts us to 0. Yep. And I'm just like reading the writing on the wall, aren't I? Yep, Sengoku. And there's the ace. Yep, I knew it was coming, and I mean, there are decks that beat Doflamingo, and Enel seems to do it very consistently. I think I played 4 or 5 Enels in the last night, and I did not win a single game. Even the games I drew pudding and puddinged him for more than 2 cards. Okay, we're playing into Sakazuki. Man, Sakazuki's interesting. It's got that infinite popping that black has against our 4-drops. He swings. I mean, I don't want to go too low, so I do need to counter out a little bit. We're going to remove his brand new and then Jinbei Gecko Moria pick up the 2k. Oh, that is why I 2k'd out, is so I could dump the card to pick it up with Moria. Because I don't have a great law target at the moment. I could just pick up Jinbei, but that doesn't feel great. And there's not really things I want to bounce on his board, so it'd be great if I could hit a Sengoku or something, so that I could just recur my Sengoku. Okay, so he Ice Age, Houndblaze. Houndblaze, what a nuisance. Popping a 2 or less, and he just always has the reduction, so. And then turning one of his cards into a threat. Really running my life down. Swing 5 into 3. Just gotta manage board here. We're on a 7 Dawn turn, so 4 drop into 2 onto leader ability. Using that 7th Dawn. Because that's, 4, 2 on leader, and then 1 to activate the ability. 7. He has Gecko on 8. Pretty heartbreaking. Rebecca, brand new. He's going to go Mega Plus here. When I thought I was coming back into this game. Swings 5. Yep, easy counter out. And now I'm thinking, I got to be thinking about playing this law. It's definitely a viable option. Five. I do want to get this brand new off the board, don't I? No, I don't. I don't care. Okay, I do care for some reason. Okay, we buggy, set the top cards of our deck. We've got a lot to bounce that, so it doesn't hurt. And then we boa, making this Moria not be able to attack. Let's get a little tempo play. And because we've got boa, we're going to be able to deal with this jack a little bit easier as well. Yep, so I end up reading this Sakazuki ability because I do remember that it gives a minus. So, but he does have to discard a card to do it. So, if he wants to pop one of my guys, he's still neg 1s, so I can live with that. Then he Hound Blazes me. And so now, my board's gone again. Granted, in this game, I'm not feeling as bad because he only has 1 card. I get to remove the jack right away with boa. And now I just get to refill the board. I whiff with a red rock, but that's okay. I've still got, Moria, grab a 2k. Weave will draw a new card. Because if he tries to go for game, that could be problematic. I know Suru is a 0 power guy, but actually, there's no way he's going for game. That's just not even a consideration. He goes 12 into 8. Don't care. 8 into 5. Don't care. We're just going to try and go for game. Oh, or we just Red Rock Moria. He has no pressure. Bunch of 0 cost homies. Okay, we stack a Jinbei to the top. And then we get to cheat that out. Yep, 6, then 7. Oh, actually it's going to be 8. So we could have been 7 and 7. If I would have done it the other way. Yeah, so I have noticed with Doflamingo, because you get to cheat cards out, you can be a little more creative with your swings, even though it's not usually right to swing with your leader first. With Doflamingo, sometimes it has felt like a good play. goes 5 into 5. I block, and then yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna load Dawn onto everything and swing, 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 swing. At least 6. So that would have been 4, 4, 5, 6. So 4, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so I would have used all my Dawn and swing 6 times. So that would have been block, 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 counter, counter. And then he would have been, so he would have lost his entire board and only had the Gecko Moria, which maybe he removes 2 of my cards with that. But then I still have 2 swings and I have Perfume Femur in hand. So anyways, that is Doflamingo. I know that was a lot of games, a lot more than I normally do, but this is the deck of the format. I think it's worth going over. So let's take a peek at the deck list. So this deck evolved a little bit throughout the gameplay, but this is kind of the final list I ended up. I already am thinking though Kaido needs to go, so it'll be a 50 card list right now. Flex spot, maybe another Moria. You could bump up the Gravity Blades or Red Rocks. You could bump up Perfume Femur, Hancock. Anyways, let's get into it. 4 Weevil, 2 Perona. Perona MVP, but also probably the worst card in this deck because you only want to see it turn 1, and from then on out, it's a bad card. You got Gecko Moria. Pudding, man, I want 4 of these, but also you don't want to see it that often. People do choose to play around Pudding more often than not. For the Crocodile, I kind of want to try out the other Crocodile. Let's take a peek while we've got a second. Croc. This new one from the starter deck, because it is card advantage, and we are mostly playing 7 Warlords of the Sea. Could be worth trying. Not that this deck particularly needs more card advantage. I just think it's a strong card. 4 Jinbei, 4 Sengoku, Jinbei All-Star of the deck, 1 Boa, 4 Moria, 4 Mihawk, 4 Law. This card's crazy. It just enables so many unique plays. It's a very fun card and really makes you think. I think it's what adds a lot of complexity to this deck. 4 Buggy. It is a 2k counter that fills the job of Perona, and it's also searchable off Sengoku. A nice part about Perona is you can pick it up off of Gecko Moria. So that's a side note. 4 Boa Hancock. I see some people cutting this down to 3. I know it's a brick, but it's the most busted 4-drop you can pull off of the top. It gives you an extra Dawn and lets you set your deck. Just so strong. Please use this card. Also, when you're using this card, one thing that I didn't do enough is I would look at the top 5 cards, and I'd see that I'm going to play a Boa Hancock. If I would have stacked cards I didn't want with the Boa Hancock, I could have shuffled those to the bottom and then known the next cards were going to work with leader ability or other things. So yeah, you can be very creative with Boa Hancock, and it can help you dig for cards that are really good into specific matchups. So Red Rock when you're into green or black. Raging Tiger into like BY Luffy or stuff like that. Perfume Femur when you know that you're going to be able to put them to 0 really quickly. And you know that you're going to be able to do that when you've got crazy curves like Perona into cheating out Jinbei Moria or Jinbei Weevil. Yeah, this deck goes through itself super efficiently. Really like that. Yeah, so I'm going to put this as a placeholder for now. But yeah, that is the list. I know this was a crazy long video. So if you made it to the end, I really appreciate that. And while you're here, hit that subscribe button for more One Piece content. Trying to do something every week for you, sometimes more. But yeah, if you've got a list you want to share with me or any feedback, let me know in the comment section below. Peace.